Here is one of the only free Apple interview questions that doesn't have a video recording. So here goes one in SQL. I have one in Python too that I will link. In this question, we're going to have to basically get the amount of Apple products compared with the others by language. So this is what the first data set looks like. In order to solve this problem, we are going to have to first get the Apple data. In order to do that, we're going to have to select the language, the user ID, and the amount of users. In order to do that, we're going to have to get this. So language, user ID from events E, except we're going to have to join this table with this other table. So we're going to have to do a join playbook events or playbook users on. So we're going to call this U for users and E for events. So on U.user_ID is equal to E.user_ID. And then we're going to have to do where E.device is in. And to save us time, these are the Apple products they want. And this is how you spell them out. It's spelled differently than instructions. And let's run this really quick. And we're going to have to put this by U. This is actually in the user table, U.language. However, we don't really care about the user ID. What we really want is the count. We want the distinct count. How many of them are Apple users? So we're going to put an Apple user. And then we're going to have to group by U.language. And here we go. And this is exactly what we want. This is how many Apple users there are by language. Now we're going to have to save this as a temp table. We're just going to call this an Apple. And now we're going to create a second table that's essentially the same thing. And we can actually copy this. Except this is going to be the total users. So we're going to change the total, and we don't need these Apple products. And we're going to call this as total user. It's essentially the same thing as the first one. And don't forget to put a comma here. The next we're going to do is select the the language, because that's how we want to start off as. So select the language from total T join, and we're going to call Apple A on. So we're going to have to join by language. It's equal to A.language. So we're joining by language. But what we really need is the Apple user count. So we need, this has to be a W, by the way. We need all the world language, not the Apple ones. Otherwise, it's going to be empty because there are some products that are going to be null. So this has to be a W and not an A. So now we got to get the Apple users. And I'll show you what I mean by that in a second if you put an A. So, and Apple user, comma, and then we need the T dot and total user right here. And let's run this one more time. T.language is equal to A.language. Oh, it's T. There we go. And they want to order by the total users, which makes sense. So you can see the most popular ones first. However, is what we also need to do is get, okay, this needs to be descending. Because English should be first. That's why I paused. I was like, where's English? So English should be first. This is the most popular one. And when we press submit now, it's not going to pass because of this. There's some values that are not in here. And the reason why is because this needs to be a full outer join, essentially. We need to get all the data, even if it's not in there. And the last thing we need to do is fill in these null values. Now we have a full outer join. It's going to have every language, whether it's in the, it's going to match no matter what. However, we need to basically fill in the null values with coalescence. So here it is, coalescence, comma 0, and then coalescence, comma 0. And let's run this one last time. And the solution is passed. And this problem actually is trickier than it looks. And if you do this in Python, it's actually considered hard. So this is not the easiest problem. But as you can see, our results look clear, and it's grouped by the world first. And technically, we should give this a name as total users and give this a name as Apple users, because right now our columns are blank. Run this last time. There we go. Now it looks a little better. So anyway, this is an Apple problem that is pretty practical. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment section and I will answer. Thanks. Bye.